Hello, this is Ben with social media at Tiffin University, and welcome to the TU Podcast. Our goal for the TU Podcast is to get you connected to the information that you're going to need to know to make the best decision and the best fit for a university for you. Each episode, we're going to be joined by one member, sometimes two, of the Tiffin University family and have them share a little bit of their expertise with you. Let's jump into the studio for today's conversation. All right, good afternoon. My name is Ben Sandrock. I am the social media specialist here at Tiffin University, and we are back with another episode of our TU podcast. And today we are going to be talking about the School of Business. It is going to be a School of Business showcase, and we are here and joined today by Professor Corri Miller to talk about all things business at Tiffin University. So welcome, Professor Corri Miller.
Thank you. I love your enthusiasm.
Right?
That's right. I like it. And all things School of Business. I love that even better. So
why don't you tell us a little bit, give us a little background on who you are, and so we can get to know you.
All right. So again, Professor Corri Miller. I've been with the university 7 years, and prior to coming to Tiffin University and engaging in academia, I spent the better part of 15 plus years working in large manufacturing and distribution centers throughout Ohio. So kind of coming on board here at Tiffin and bringing that experience and knowledge into the classroom has been extremely rewarding.
Wow. And that seems to be a consistent theme around campus, is that there's a lot of people that have worked in the field and then come to TU. Is that the same way in the School of Business?
Yes, absolutely. I would say probably over the majority. I would say all have had experiences outside of academia before moving into the field. Wow. And I think that's what separates us. Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely.
Okay. So today we're talking to the prospective students and their families. And so the large amount of the folks that are going to be listening are right now in their college search. And so we're trying to help give some tips about not only the process, but what to look for at TU that may make us a little bit different. And so let's get started by what can students or prospective students that may be in high school right now, what ways could they get a little taste of some of the School of Business at TU right now?
Okay. One of the big events that we engage every year, normally the end of March, I would say our prospective students could come on campus and experience would be the Summit to Success. And the Summit to Success encapsulates 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon of past TU alum that are have been extremely successful in their careers and are giving back to TU students by coming and speaking about what they've seen, what they experienced during their time here, as well as now that they're in their particular career of passion. And I think this day would really showcase what the School of Business has to offer, because we have leaders from HR to finance, manufacturing, just kind of a gamut of individuals, and I think the students prospective students would be able to see that.
That's awesome. So that's a way for them to get a little taste of how things would be. And then what is it like when a student comes onto campus and now they're enrolled to be they're in the School of Business? What types of things can students do once they're on campus to figure out if the career is right for them? Do you guys have any clubs or things like that set aside to help in that area?
Yes, absolutely. So a couple of things. We have the Accounting and Finance Club, the Sports Management Club, the Marketing or the American Marketing Association. We're actually a chapter through the AMA, and then the Business Club, which I referred to relative to the summit. And you can say, oh, a club, that's great. I'm going to meet on a Wednesday for an hour and that's what we're going to do. That's not at all what we do within the School of Business. And just kind of a couple of examples for our Accounting and Finance Club. They've traveled to Marathon, Plant Moran. They've taken tours and met with the accounting finance departments at Ford Field. They traveled to the Chicago and toured the Federal Reserve Bank and the Chicago Board of Trade. You know, for those thinking about accounting and finance or those in accounting and finance, those are, you know, pretty interesting places to visit. Our sport and management club, they do multiple things. And one of the kind of the last several months, they've gone to Little Caesars Arena, Ford Field, Progressive Field, and then Comerica Park. They've done some event planning with the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
And then we've brought in multiple speakers, past Olympians, and then most recently ESPN broadcasters we've had on campus as well. So again, kind of yeah. And then our marketing or our chapter through the AMA, they do a lot of competitions. So not only do they bring speakers here on campus, they travel throughout the U.S. They leave for New Orleans. Normally, I think it's every March, and do a national competition there. So our students compete against other university students.
Wow.
Yeah, so kind of an interesting...
And part of those marketing competitions is they're putting together business plans and pitch plans and things like that. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Awesome. And they work with, Dr. Perry Hahn, Dr. Foster, Dr. McGilvery here within the School of Business to make sure that are we meeting the target? Are we hitting the target? Experiential learning. We're learning in the classroom and then applying it to actual business cases, actual business plans, the pitch plans. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So last area is getting career connected, and I guess that it kind of springboards us from the last point. But what does that look like so that now you have the ability to go and visit at the Cleveland Browns Stadium or going to these different places? What does it look like to get the students then into their career? How do you guys prepare students for their career?
Yeah, absolutely. For graduation, right? That's our goal. It's not necessarily, wow, here, let's prepare them for graduation, for that job. And I think the biggest thing within the School of Business is the internships. It's a requirement for every one of our graduates to complete 150 hours. And you start by building those networks by being in the clubs, by going to Ford Field and meeting their finance and accounting personnel, by going to the Cleveland Browns and helping set an entire event from start to finish. You're meeting people. You need that internship, that 150 hours, building that network. That internship is part of that experiential learning. It's being in front of top executives in an organization. It's pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Again, it's a requirement within the school because we feel so, I guess we expect that. We're passionate about making sure our students are ready to hit the ground running when they graduate.
Wow. That's fantastic. So last point or last area is with all of those prospective students and their families that we're talking about that are going to be coming to campus or getting to know the faculty, what would you recommend? What would be one nugget of information where you'd say, man, when you go on your campus tours and you're looking for things, what would be one thing that you think is important for that prospective student?
I think you have to know if it's the right fit. You know, from a business perspective, when you're interviewing, we say, look at the culture. Think about the culture. Is it an inviting culture? Is it a safe culture? Again, these are pieces of notes of advice that I would tell the current students, right? Yes. But for those thinking about Tiffin, I would want to meet as many professors as I could, as staff members, because that's where you understand the culture of TU. I think that separates us. And I think if I'm telling students to do that from the standpoint of when you land your first job, make sure it's a fit, make sure the university is a fit, and being able to meet staff, faculty, that's how you're going to know.
Love it. Love it. Well, these are some great things, and we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us today, Professor Corri Miller. And so that wraps up today's episode. Thank you again for joining us, and it's a great day to be a dragon.
Thank you for listening to the TU Podcast. Our hope is today's episode will help you in the admission process. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our admission team at tiffin.edu.